Like inherent powers, implied powers are not actually listed in the Constitution, but they belong to the national government. So they're powers that aren't in the Constitution belong to the national government. Unlike inherent powers, these tend to be super controversial, the government possessing them. So here's the deal. Again, these are not listed in the Constitution, but they belong to the national government and they are very controversial. So as we mentioned, this is Article 1, Section 8. These are all the things the national government was supposed to be able to do. The idea was, if it's not listed here, the national government's not supposed to be able to do it. And because of the 10th Amendment, the state governments get to do it. However, if you look at the last sort of power that is listed in Article 1, Section 8, it says that after listing all these specific powers, it says, oh, and by the way, the government also has the ability to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by the Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. It sounds super confusing, but the way in which the national government has tried to interpret that last little portion is that this is a nice start, but that this is pretty broad. That because of the wording down here, and you can make all laws which are necessary and proper to carry out these things, that in the eyes of the federal government, all you have to be able to do is link what you want to do to what's actually listed right here. The reason why this is sometimes referred to as the necessary and proper clause, but it's also nicknamed the elastic clause because it dramatically stretches the power of the national government. Because under this premise, you could do more than what's just listed here, as long as you can sort of link it up in some way to what you want to do. So this was actually something that was legalized by a Supreme Court case in 1819 called McCulloch versus Maryland. The federal government wanted to open up a bank, but the state of Maryland sued because nowhere in the Constitution, right here, does it say anything about the federal government operating or opening a bank. But the federal government's argument was that one of the things that's listed is to regulate commerce, like something we would call the economy. And that even though a bank wasn't listed here, a bank would be important or related to regulating the economy. So they used this necessary and proper clause here to say, look, a bank is necessary and proper to help regulate the economy. So therefore, we should be able to open a bank even though it's not there. And the Supreme Court agreed. And the bottom line is that this sort of interpretation of implied powers has dramatically expanded the power of the federal government because it opens the door to allow them to do a lot that's not listed in the document as long as they can link it up to something that it is, especially something generic like the economy. You can link almost anything up to the economy. So again, implied powers are controversial because they allow the government to do a lot more than what's listed in the Constitution, and the necessary and proper, or nicknamed the elastic clause, is what enables them to do